All right, Shalom. I'd like to start out with saying call Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harikah Kodash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and double honors to our elder apostle as well down here in the Lions Den camp. I heard one Banya Shalom. Salutations to the icon that are pushing the streets of sincerity and truth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, I'm Chanak Sa'an Banya Shalom from the Lions Den and Yashar camp, and this is another Lions Den news and prophecy. Here we go. This is Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. It says, Speak thou in the ears of word of the in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written on paper, for they are faithful and true. And why is that? Because knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy time and the strength of salvation. So us as men of the Lord, we have to come out here on these highways, come out on the highways and byways and do these lessons on the internet, by any means necessary, promoting uh prophesying on what's to come, to give the people that were meant for salvation a chance at salvation, and to give word of the judgment for everyone else. And you know, so that's our job, to be occupied in prophecy. All right. So now this particular one right here is okay. Matter of fact, let me see. Where is it? Let's go to this right quick. So you see this article. It says China says it will fight to end after U.S. said it was trying to hurt world economy. All right. Ultimately, you have this economic trade war going on between the two biggest economics nations on earth, right? Which could really do damage on the whole global economy. And ultimately, what it's going to lead to the collapse of America. All right. It says this is Isaiah 47:1. All right. It says, "Come sit down in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no more throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt be no more called tender and delicate." All right. So now, so now, come sit down in the dust. Right. Of course, that's going to be, Babylon coming off his throne. But before that happens, the Lord's going to strip this place bare. Going to strip it of everything. You see that? So now, with this trade war or economic war going on between China and the United States. In past times, China would yield to the pressure, to the economic pressure that would be presented by the West. However, in these times, um, China has a little bit more power to fight back, right? So not only that, you had India, I think it was India and China that did a deal to, hold on, let me find it. Wait a second. All right, see this right here? It says Indonesia to buy 42 fighter jets from China in first non-Western aircraft deal. Right? See that, and that's an economic hit to the United States. Like it's multilateral. It's usually multilateral deals when it comes to anything in the trade market. Everybody has to go through America to get American dollars to be able to do any amount of trade. But not now. These nations are starting to do bilateral deals between two countries. So you have they buy 42 fighter jets from China, right, and cutting out the middleman. That's another blow to the American economy because the United States don't get part of that money. You see that? So these nations are starting to do things without involving the United States. All right, so that's gonna hurt America economically. All right, let's go back to the other one. So China says it will fight to the end after U.S. said it was trying to hurt the world's economy. So the United States is trying to say China's hurting the world's economy, right? I guess by not yielding to um, or submitting to the once uh, powerhouse according to economic, well, according to almost everything, America was the powerhouse of the world, the hammer of the earth. And when you're a hammer, you think everything's a nail. All right, so the United States announced plans earlier this year to begin charging duties on China-linked ships. All right, that's what this photograph is showing right there. See that? So anything that comes to the ports, you know, America's gonna put a tax on it, an extra tax on it. All right, so China has hit back at accusations from the West that it is trying to hurt the world economy as the trade war began. The trade war between the world's two biggest economic economies appeared to re-escalate, amped up by aggression rhetoric on both sides. China's Commerce Ministry said on Tuesday that the U.S. was threatening to intimidate with the prospect of new tariffs on Chinese exports, which is not the right way to get along with China. Its spokesperson said that China would fight to the end in trade talks. It says the comments came shortly after the United States Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said China wanted to pull everybody else down with them by damaging the world economy. If they wanted to do that, if they really wanted to do that, what they would do is because they hold a lot of, you know what I'm saying, of the US debt. If China really wanted to collapse the world economy, they would get rid of those dollars. But that's not what China wants. That'll crush everybody if they do that at this point in time. Eventually, it's going to happen, right? But you know what I'm saying. So America is looking for, just like how they always do, want to play the victim and look for reasons to pull to do the things they want to do according to their agenda. They want to go in and try to get control over the oil over there in Saudi Arabia. So what did they do? They said that Saddam Hussein was using chemical weapons on the people. The chemical weapons that the United States gave him and told him to use, and they hung him for it. You see that? So now these countries are fighting back, saying, you know what, forget all, but you know what I'm saying. So, and China has a step ahead of the United States anyway because during the 2020 crisis, you know, China's economy bounced back real quick. They had already, you know what I'm saying, everything lined up the way they needed to be. But it was the United States that was struggling. You know, they tried with what's that? What's that called? Stimuluses and all that kind of shit, which didn't help the economy. It hurt it because guess what? Now you're gonna have to pay that money back, and the money's gonna be paid back through taxes and things like that. All right. So now it says the comment. Okay, it says it follows the U.S. and China starting to charge each other increased port fees on cargo ships, including increasing trade tensions. All right. It says the U.S. announced plans earlier this year to begin charging duties on China-linked ships to counter what it says are unfair maritime trade practices. Those tariffs and retaliatory charges from China came into effect on Tuesday. So now China is fighting back. But that hasn't always been the case with these other countries dealing with America when America starts its bully tactics. It says state media said that Chinese built ships would be exempt from new measures. The Commerce Ministry said on Monday that it had notified the U.S. about the rare earth export controls Beijing announced last week in advance, con- contradicting comments made by the United States Trade Representative Jameson Greer. over the weekend that the United States had not been warned. All right, so they're saying they ain't been warned about none of this. But see, this is going to continue to escalate and escalate and escalate. And then China being part of the BRICS nations, they they're literally weeding America out of the way, just like what happened in what was it, 91 with the fall of the USSR. You're witnessing, you know, global elites put pressure on the world's economy, which is going to put pressure on the American economy, which is going to cause the economy, is going to cause America to collapse. Right. So that's why the scripture said, "Come sit down in the dust in the state of confusion, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no more throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. Therefore, for thou shalt be no more called tender and delicate." See that? No more be called tender and delicate. No more be the lady of kingdoms. No more be living lavish, living in wanton. The Lord is bringing this place low. So now, what we need to that's why you need to have your mind focused on your how by Shem Yahweh. You know, I only way gonna be. That's the only way to get out of what's to come. Ain't nobody, And what is this gonna do? This is gonna enter. This is going to usher in the Mot B. That's exactly. This is gonna usher in the Mot B because so what you're gonna see happen eventually is the United States is going to start collapsing the dollar, right? Because they're gonna bring in a digital form of it. You see that? But they want to have somebody to blame it on. So now if they're saying, oh, all this is China's fault, da 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 da, then boom, the economy collapses. Now they have a scapegoat, someone to blame it on, and guess what else? Somebody to go to war with, right? And they try to destabilize our economy, they try to ruin the American people. We need to go to war. This is all this is staging up to be. There'll probably be another pandemic, right? And then another strain in the economy globally, and then war. And then what? The ushering in of the new digital system. All right. So that's why we need to seek the Lord while he may be found. All right. This is Ecclesiastes 12:1. It says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. All right. So the day of the Lord, the evil days, the bad days. This also can talk about before you die. Before don't wait till you're on your deathbed and want to start remembering the Lord. Remember him now. It says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. All right. And the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, because what it say, the day of the Lord shall be darkness and not light. All right, before this the bottom drops out of this economy, you better be remembering the Lord right now. Don't try to wait. Don't try to wait till everything's happening. Like, oh, I remember the Lord, Yahweh Shai. Yeah, you want to say that then, but you know what I'm saying. You need to be saying that now. Say, those that seek me early shall find me. If you try to wait till the destruction is coming and try to seek him early, then you will not be able to find him, because guess what? It says he's closing up the breaches thereof, meaning sealing up the way of truth that's nobody else can get in. So you better try to get in right now, just like how he sealed up the door with Noah. Right? So verse 3, it says, in the day that when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, that's jobs, right? Because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened, right? So those are the ones that are watching the economy, watching what's going on in the world. All right. And they're going to start to tremble. They're going to start to get afraid once everything starts to transpire and happen to collapse this economy. All right. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the birds, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All the mirth of the land is going to be gone. All right. All the mirth of the land shall be gone. It says, also when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden. Any small little thing is gonna break this shit, and the desire shall fail because man goeth to his own long goeth his long home, and the mourners go about the streets. All right. So before this, so basically you need to remember the Lord right now before all this stuff happens, before the collapse of the economy, before they start trying to, bring the MOTB, before the missiles start coming. Because if you try to wait till then, it's going to be too late. All right, so that's why it says, remember the days of the creating thy youth, meaning when you're young, or you, not necessarily age, but it can mean age too. But you fresh, you got it. It's now's the time to wake up out of sleep, man. All right, because now's the time when our salvation is nearer than when we once believed. All right, Lord willing, this lesson edify and serve the purpose for the hope of elect, the ones who truly believe in the name Yahweh Shemi Al Shai. With that, like I say, call Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakak Radash, Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone, and double honors to my elder apostle as well. I heard one Ban Yashar Allah down here in the Lions and Camp. Salutations to the Akim that are puts in the truth, sincerity and truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name Yahweh Shemi Al Shai. Shalom.